Richings, who is here to talk about a positive affirmation app that she's actually developed. Good morning, Jo. How are you?
Hi there. I'm really good. You?
Yes, fine, thanks. Jo, obviously, you've been on the show before and you've talked about business coaching because that's what you've done for the previous 8 years. I know you've had this affirmation app out a little while. Do you want to kind of give us some background on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So to do that, probably need to take you back to sort of 2011-ish, which was when I was in full force in my business coaching practice. Really successful practice, but I was most other areas of my life were very wrong. So I was first in the office, last out the office. I was massively overweight. I was about 7 stone heavier than what I am now. Really stressed all the time. I was in a relationship that I shouldn't have been in. So except for my business was great, but all the other areas were completely shot to bits, to be honest with you. And I think, I believe that the universe has a way of trying to tell us when we're off track, but unfortunately most of us are really good at ignoring that. And that sort of starts with that, that feeling in the pit of your stomach, which we're really good at just sort of ignoring and pushing down. And then when you don't listen, you get these little taps on the shoulder, and that's normally like health problems or relationship problems or career problems. And we ignore that as we do, and we stick our head in the sand. And that's what I did really, because at this time back in 2011, I knew I was in a relationship I shouldn't have been in. I knew I was working too hard. I was popping paracetamols like they were going out of fashion. So I knew my health wasn't right as well. And I just ignored it and just kept doing what I was doing. So I think then the universe has got a way of just whacking us around the head with a baseball bat and saying like, you will stop and you will listen. For me, that baseball bat was breast cancer. So in 2012, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that year out, as I like to call it, was pretty life-changing for me, really, because I had chemo and then I had a sort of surgery, and then just after my surgery, unfortunately, we lost my mum, as you know, completely out of the blue. So, and then just when I was getting my life back together, I found out when my husband was having an affair. So there's like these 3 major life events happened in that short period of time. Any of which could have been enough to floor the average person, to be honest. But like to have 3 of them in a year was pretty intense, to say the least. But it was, except for losing mum, I wouldn't change any of it really, because it was just so life-changing for me. And the most important thing that came out of it was it slowed me down for long enough to really think about what was important and what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And as much as I enjoyed business coaching, and it was a great franchise that I was involved in, I realised that wasn't my passion anymore. And what was empowering people just to be the best that they can be, and just helping, normal people, rather than, talking about profit and loss statements and business plans in big yawn, all this kind of stuff, which I was doing. So I downsized my business coaching practice and decided that I was going to sort of dedicate the rest of my life, sounds a bit cheesy, but to doing stuff that was like creating tools and programs that would make a difference. It would really make a difference. So the first one was the app, the Yes I Can Do It app. And the way that came about was as a coach for years, and I know we've discussed this before, that you can I can give somebody all the tools and techniques in the book to try and get somebody to change, but unless they change their belief system about their ability to do that thing, nothing will ever change. So I knew that if I wanted to lose weight and get fit and healthy and live, a lot longer, then that's one of the things I had to get my head around. Because my identity and what I believed to be true about myself was that I was a fat person, I was overweight, I didn't like exercise. Every time I put weight on, I gained it again. I had all these negative beliefs going through me. And from what I'd learned from the coaching, it finally clicked with me. I needed to apply that to my personal life. Yay, hallelujah, eventually. Because we're often very good at sort of using this stuff in one area of our life and not in the others. So I started to sort of really work on myself. As you know, I've done quite a lot of EFT. And then I set up these affirmations. So there was about 20 affirmations or positive statements that my mind would accept. So I recorded these, and they were things like, I'm starting to enjoy going to the gym, rather than, I knew that if I put on there, I love going to the gym, every time I listen to it, my subconscious are going to be going like, yeah, right, that's not true. So I started with stuff that my mind would accept, and the fact that, I find losing weight was coming easy to me, and every day I was getting better and better. So they were quite soft affirmations in the beginning. So I recorded them, stuck a backing track to them, and then would listen to them literally 5 hours a day. I had them on all the time. They were just, I hit it on continuous play on my iPhone. And like within about 5 days, I'd already joined the gym before and not gone, but within about 5 days, I'd started going back to the gym. And then literally for about 2.5-year period, I went to the gym pretty much every day until I had some surgery last year. And then unfortunately, I had to stop for a while. But I couldn't believe how quickly my mindset changed around my whole like love, or, you know, I used to have a hate of exercise, and now I had this like passion for exercise, which was mad. And you knew me before then. I was just like, exercise was like, what? No thanks. The furthest I used to walk was like home to the, my front door to the car, and from my car to my office. So like lots, I was like losing weight, really well, and I was getting fit and healthy. And a lot of my friends and my clients and my family were saying, what are you doing? How are you managing to do this? And I was sort of telling them about the affirmations, and they kept asking me to do an affirmation audio for them as well. So that's what I was doing. I wasn't charging for them, and I'd send them this big old list of like hundreds of affirmations, and they'd choose the ones that they liked, and then I'd record this affirmation audio for them. And I kept messing it up, and I would record it because I was only just doing it on my iPhone with a bit of background music. And I find like I get through like the first 19 affirmations, and I'd mess up on the last one. You know what that's like when you're recording.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, there's got to be an easier way of doing this. So that's how it all came about, really. I was just thinking, I wonder if I could do this, and I started to sort of form this idea in my mind about trying to create this app that would do this for me. So that's how it all started. So it was of a necessity because it was driving me mad trying to do all these audios. So if you go onto the app, there's 400 pre-recorded affirmations on there in a male voice and a female voice. And they're in like 12 different categories. So they cover pretty much everything, I think, from like weight loss, sort of exercise, success, abundance, confidence, worrying, giving up smoking, and just about everything else in between, really. So I've tried to cover as much as I can. But there's also the facilities so you can record your own affirmations. So if there's something on there that is not on there that you need, then you can just create your own little playlist up. So the plan is...
Sorry, that's quite a unique thing, isn't it? The fact you can actually record your own things on there.
It is, yeah, and I think sometimes it's more powerful when it's your own voice. So some people, most people are, I would say probably 90% of the people that use the app are more than happy just to use the female or the male voice. But some people just find it more powerful hearing themselves say it, and then you can make it very bespoke. So yeah, you're right. So you can also, you choose a backing track to go with it. You can, if you've got a nice piece of music you want to listen to, and on the back of it, you can upload your own music as well. And then you either play it continuously. I tend to just hit continuous, and it's on all the time. Whatever I'm doing, if I'm at the computer, and if it's not really sort of intense stuff, I've just got it playing. If I'm in the car, I'm getting ready. If I'm cooking, it's just sort of that repetition over and over and over and over and over again. So that's like the main part of it. And there's also like a video series in there that people can go on and sign on for free, which is like a video every day, which explains this kind of stuff. Really, it explains about how beliefs are formed and how to change them, and how it can go wrong, because affirmations don't always work if you don't use them properly. So it's important that people understand how to use them properly. So there's like stuff on there to help with that. There's obviously EFT on there as well, and showing people how important that is. So yeah, hopefully there's enough on there that will help people just really get to the bottom of these beliefs and change them for good. That's the plan. Yeah.
And I'm right in saying that you're actually in the middle of another project at the moment.
I am, yes. I'm even more excited about this one.
Are we allowed to talk about this one?
Yeah. So I've been saying for years and years and years that the kind of stuff that I teach my clients, we should teach to our children. Because one of the things that I've understood, Claire, and I know that you understand this as well, that like a 6-year-old child that has a belief system that they're not good enough will grow into a 36-year-old adult, or a 46 or 56 with the same belief system, unless something changes. So, my sort of take on this is that we need to get to them before they're, when they're young, before that belief system starts. So I've always wanted to create an app that is suitable for children. So this is my latest project now, which I'm looking to launch in 2017. I'm at the stage at the moment where I'm trying to gather support for it. So I've got enough people to help me get it funded, because it's going to be a free app. So I'm going to do a crowdfunding campaign for it. So it will be, it's going to introduce these there's 3 characters to the children. And that is Charlie the chimp and the happiness elves. So Charlie is the emotional part of the brain. So he's a little chimp. He's very mischievous. He gets you in trouble. He's in charge of worry. So he's the one that's like, you know, running around all the time and saying, oh, you know, nobody's going to like us, and, you know, what if we don't like school, and that kind of stuff, and all the negative stuff. You know, that negative voice that we've all got, that inner critic, that's Charlie. So we've got is to get the children to recognise that, you know, that's when they hear that, that's just Charlie talking. And then they've got the happiness elves. So we've got Harriet and Harry. So whether they want a girl or a boy elf, depending on whether they're a girl or a boy. And Harry and Harriet are in charge of happiness. So they're like, yay, come on, you can do it, don't worry. You know, they're your cheerleaders. They're the sensible, logical ones. So I'm really excited about this concept. So I've talked to lots of parents about it, and they've started to use it already with their children. So the sort of app introduces these characters to sort of quite young children, and how the characters grow as the children do. So they'll be just as relevant to a 3-year-old as what they will to an 8-year-old, because they'll grow up. They're going to grow up with children. And it's really just to get the children to recognise that, you know, we get these thoughts in our head, and we get these things that tell us that we're not good enough, and, you know, all this negative, you know, rubbish that we tell ourselves from a very young age, and just to get them to recognise that that's just a Charlie thought. You know, that's not them. That's just Charlie. You know, Charlie's, you know, trying to get them in trouble, so they can recognise and choose then the thoughts that they would rather have. So I've been talking to like lots of mums and teachers about this, and some of them have been trialling this concept with their children, and the feedback's been amazing. The mums are saying, you know, just when the little ones are just getting a bit fretful or worrying, they can just have a conversation and say, is that a Charlie thought or is that a Harriet thought? And just get them to understand, oh no, that's just Charlie. Okay, we don't need to worry about it because it's just Charlie. So, you know, they recognise the thought for what it is, and just they can then make a decision on whether they think that's right, and then hopefully they'll follow and listen to what Harriet or Harry says. So when they go onto the app, ideally with parents initially, the affirmations on there are recorded by children, and so you can choose to listen to Harry or choose to listen to Harriet. So they're actually going to be listening to this, you know, these little happiness elves. So their affirmations are obviously going to be relevant to them. So, you know, it's a concept I'm really excited about, and off the back of that, I've started to write some storybooks that I want to develop as well, you know, alongside that, just to explain the concept even further. And I want to introduce in books things like EFT and mindfulness, and you know, all the other tools that are out there that will help the children. So on the app, there'll be that part. I'm hoping to include a couple of other little games as well, just to make it a bit more engaging for the children. So there'll be, I'm going to hopefully do like a mindfulness game. So there's going to be smiley faces, and when they sort of pop up, you've got pressed on them. So just, you know, again, just to calm them down if they're a bit agitated. And another game, which is, there'll be words, like little phrases will pop up on the screen, and they have to decide whether that's a Charlie thought or a Harriet thought. And if it's a Harriet, they swipe it one way, and if it's a Charlie, they swipe it another. So
your brain training, basically.
Yeah, it's just getting kids to recognise this. And do you know what the thing I'm really hoping more than anything, Claire, is that because there are millions of adults out there that don't get this. So if I can introduce this, you know, to parents that got young children, they're going to learn about this concept themselves, aren't they, at the same time? So, you know, that's my goal for it. And it's, you know, I'm really passionate about all my projects, as you know, but I just really feel that this can make a difference, because when I was doing the research on this, I started to look into the research on mental health problems with children, and it's absolutely shocking. You know, in the UK at the moment, there's 850,000 children that have got some kind of mental health problem, from five upwards. Yeah. Anxiety is at an all-time worst. Self-harming is just like ridiculous at the moment. You know, there's like, I know so many people that have got children that are self-harming. So I think something's got to change, because like the tools that we're giving kids at the moment are not enough, you know, for them, you know, to survive, you know, at the moment. So I think we've got to do something differently. So, yeah.
Are the average family giving their kids any tools? Is there any tools that really exist that kind of teach them this stuff, or even help them? And I think it's very, very difficult. I mean, obviously, Georgina's the same age as Abby, but I mean, she's 22 now, and she had friends that self-harmed. You know, going back 10, 15 years ago. Yeah.
Do you know, I don't think there is tools. I suppose there are. There's probably little pockets of organisations and groups that do stuff, but I've not seen anything that, you know, because I'm hoping this is going to be a big project. So I'm at the moment, the word of the day for me is collaboration, and I'm trying to just find out who knows people that can help me get the word out on this. Yeah. Because I do want it to be accessible to everybody. I do want it to be free. And if I can get some, you know, some people, because I know there's some celebrities, for example, that are really into children's, you know, sort of well-being. If I could get some people behind this, that just would help get the word out and tweet about it and, you know, social media, then, you know, it could be a really great resource and could really make some massive changes. Because, like I said, there isn't, most people don't get this, and I'm just hoping that, you know, if people get this stuff for their kids, like I said, they're going to learn almost by osmosis, aren't they? Just by going through it with their kids, they're going to be like, oh right, okay, I get that. So yeah.
But then I have that with, what was it, Georgia, algebra, I think. I never got it at school. I had to learn it when she
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping. So it's early days with it at the moment. We're just at the stage where we're having the characters developed, and I've got an app developer looking at costings and stuff. So once I've done that, I'm going to have a video made and get a crowdfunding campaign going, and just see if we can get as much support. So if anybody's listening, you know, I've got any way to help us get the word out on this, then, you know, please just give me a shout. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a massive project, a fantastic project. And I can see the excitement in you. And to be honest, you know, I can see where that's going. I mean, it's just because I've always said with the EFT, if parents taught their kids to just tap out what they're feeling rather than damp it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they just look, and obviously with the positive affirmations, not only are they getting rid of their emotions, but they're actually learning between the different, you know, to recognize the difference, which is taking it that next step again.
It is, yeah. Well, I think the combination of the two, I think, is great. You know, I think I told you, going back a few years ago, I was lucky enough to spend some time out in Bali with an EFT practitioner, and she had a young child, and she used to do EFT with him all the time, and it was amazing to watch. This kid was so well balanced; it was lovely. And there was one time that because we were in Bali, so you know, there was like different bits of wildlife around, and there was this, like a snake had come onto the retreat where we were. And this poor little boy was like screaming. We could hear him all the way across the you know, the place. And she got to him, and like within like a minute or so, she just started tapping with him, and he was just completely calm. And it was just dissolved it. Whereas like most other kids would have been in hysterics probably for the next half an hour. But yeah, it was brilliant to watch actually how quickly this EFT brought him down. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm hoping you know, to include some EFT videos, so how parents, because we're gonna have like a grown up stuff tab as well, which will take them to the website, and there'll be lots of stuff like this with, you know, things like EFT.
Hopefully, I mean, I'm kind of thinking, and I'm doing myself out of a job here, but I'm kind of thinking, if they actually can distinguish between the two, they're not going to store it anyway. So, you know, EFT will become null and void for them. Which is a really bad thing. Shouldn't I be saying that? But no, I mean, it's just wonderful because that's what we're all here to do. We're all here to move.
I think we're a long ways away from that though, Claire. I think you're all right for a few years.
But I mean, that's basically, if they can learn at a very young age to distinguish between the two and not to store it in the first place, need for the kind of treatment that I do, there's not going to be a need for it. I mean, obviously, the world's not a fantastic place and it's not perfect. We all know that. So yes, you will have your kind of trauma cases, but your everyday rubbish that you acquire when you're a kid and take through to your adult, that just won't be there.
Yeah, how great would that be though, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
So that's why I'm so excited about it, and I just I'm trusting the universe is going to deliver the right people to help me get the word out and get this out there. So yeah, it's never let me down yet. So hopefully we'll be fine this time.
Yeah. No. Oh, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Is there anything else? Is there anything specific that you need that you can kind of put on here and ask for?
We're just really, like I said, just to help to get the word out. Really, you know, I'm hoping to get the crowdfunding campaign launched early January, because I think it's too near Christmas now, really. It'll take me that long to get the video out. So, you know, it depends on when people are listening to this, if they can, you know, if they can sort of support the crowdfunding campaign or just share it, because obviously it'll be on your Facebook. So if they see it.
Can you say that again?
Sorry, if they can, because obviously when I launched the crowdfunding campaign, then obviously you're going to be sharing it on your website, so people can just share it and support it and stuff like that, and just tell people about it. Really, that's the main help I need. Really, it's just so if anybody's got groups of children that they work with, or you know people that work with groups of children or teachers or anything like that, then you know that's what I need, is people that got access to lots of kids or lots of parents and can get the word out for me when we're ready to go.
Perfect, perfect. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure once again speaking with you, Jo. You're always coming up with something new to kind of blow us away.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure for me as well.
You take care, and we shall speak to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.